This is Teacher M ASMR, bringing you the next installment of the book Alone. Please relax as I read this story to you. Investigation. After the power outage, George and I conduct a systematic investigation of the entire town, street by street across the grid, seeking any signs of life. I bike slowly, listening. George pads alongside, sniffing the air. We visit homes of friends and acquaintances, businesses and schools. If we find pets, we coax them out, hoping they will scrounge food to survive on their own. At Millerville Middle School, we find an unlocked door behind the gym. Wander the halls, footsteps echo against rows of lockers. I dial my locker combination. Stare at the contents. Everything is just as I left it. Sticky travel mug, bunch of binders, magnets of Frida Kahlo and George O'Keeffe, plaid scarf from last winter. I can hear my math teacher droning on about lockers and how they should be called permutation locks, not combination locks. I wish I was in his class for real, happily bored and surrounded by people I don't even realize I loved. A few months ago, I would have jumped at the offer of an indefinite vacation. Now I long for the predictable regularity of classes, the comfort of having a daily routine, a place to be and people to notice when I am absent. We leave school and ride on, through parks, playgrounds, the entire length of the creek path. Bubbles float downstream and accumulate in yellow foam along the shore. George tries to drink, but I stop him. Getting sick with giardia is the last thing we need. I give him what's left from my water bottle. At the end of our search, all we have to show for it are sore paws and sunburned shoulders. I think of Emma and Ashanti, how things would be different now if only they had been able to spend the night. Without power. The water stops running. I lug bottled water up from the basement. Wonder about recycling the empty bottles. Toilets stop refilling and won't flush. I remember once when the water was off at Dad's, he flushed by pouring water directly into the bowl. I don't like to waste drinking water, but I can find a case of red wine in the basement. It's a fact that wine smells bad and tastes worse. Even if I liked it, my parents would murder me if I started drinking alcohol the minute I was left alone. Pull out a bottle and I'm relieved to find a screw cap, not a cork. Break the seal and pour a third of the bottle into the toilet. Nothing happens. Maybe more volume, more speed. I find a bucket in the laundry room, fill it with wine. I empty the whole bucket into the toilet bowl all at once. The toilet flushes. The sound is like music. Waiting. We eat what fresh food we can. Stuff what's left into garbage bags before spoiled food stinks up the whole house. Drag the bags to the alley, throw them in the dumpster. I lower the saddle on Mom's bike, use it to pull Trevor's bike trailer to Dad's house. I load up the camp stove, lantern, more bottles of water, a case of propane cylinders, haul it back to Mom's. After 2 weeks, we finish the food in Mom's pantry. Start on soup and canned vegetables from next door. Use bottled water to boil pasta, oatmeal. The days are long, so I don't like the lantern or candles much. I save resources and time activities with daylight, but I tell myself my parents are on their way home. No one comes. It's getting more difficult to comfort myself with the belief that my parents will be back any minute. At night, I curl up against George's broad back. I mull scenarios, imagine the reasons why no one has come for me. The best explanation. My parents are in different shelters. They haven't yet been able to contact each other, so they don't know I've been left behind. It will just be a matter of time before they reconnect and discover what happened. I imagine the look on my parents' faces when they realize where I am. Mom will demand to talk to whoever is in charge, refusing to take no for an answer. Dad can convince anyone to do anything. It will only be a matter of time before they'll be here. Maybe even a big military Humvee that will drive right up in front of the house, honk the horn, and my parents will climb down to embrace me and carry me away to safety. That's the good scenario. The bad scenario involves a transport accident accident on the highway far from help or hospitals. My little brother started crying, Mom bleeding on the side of the road, Paul calling out for help. Her dad and Jennifer mingled with dozens of others in an overturned truck, bodies scattered across the highway like images on the news from faraway wars. I banish those pictures from my mind, but they invade my dreams. I thrash and cry out, wake my tears on my face, George, concerned and whimpering. On those long nights, I drag my blankets out to the hammock, watch the stars rove across the sky, rock myself back to troubled sleep. Routine. As summer temperatures rise, we fall into a routine. Spend our time in the cool comfort of the basement family room. At sunset, I bring in solar garden lights I've collected from the neighborhood, place them in 2s and 3s throughout the house. They illuminate enough to get around. In the morning, I gather them up and return them to the sunny backyard. They recharge all day. We have no shortage of good books. I reread my childhood favorites, E.B. White, Kate DiCamillo, Roald Dahl, Nellie Babbitt, The Calvin Hobbes Treasury, old friends to soothe the hard edges of being frightened and alone. Sometimes I read to myself. Other times I read aloud to George. He listens politely, wags his tail when I check to see if he's paying attention. When we read late into the evening, we often hear the howls and yips of coyotes at the lake. Hearing them never used to make me nervous, but now everything feels like a threat. More than once we have seen small packs of them running together in the distance. George stiffens and growls, but always stays with me. I don't like to be gone from the house too long, in case a rescue party comes and doesn't find us. We limit our outings to riding around looking for someone left behind. We don't find anyone. Laundry. 21 days since the evacuation. Bottled water supplies running low. Only enough for a few more days. I need clean underwear, but don't want to waste water. I drag the big 2-wheel cooler out of the garage and haul it to the lake. Dip it on its side and fill as much as I can. The water swirls with dirt and muck. A sodden duck feather floats on the surface. I use both hands to drag the cooler home. Wash my clothes in the front yard. Lay them in the sun to dry. Use the dirty water to flush the toilet. Scavenging. I go house to house searching for food, water, or other supplies. Sometimes doors are unlocked. I walk right in. Other times I find an open window or a dog door big enough to crawl through. Lots of homes have doors from their backyards into garages, and then unlocked doors from garages into houses. Must brace for the worst. Many dogs and cats have starved to death and are decomposing inside. I occasionally surprise a pet who's managed to survive by drinking toilet water, but as guilty as I feel, I can't help them. It's hard enough to keep George and me fed. I leave the doors open and try to shoot them through so they can test their luck at survival outside. Mostly the rancid fish tanks, birds, and rodent cages, carcasses of pets make me gag and want to run. I get in and out as quickly as possible, limit my searches to kitchens and pantries. Anything I haul home has to fit one of 2 categories or it isn't worth my time. First, food and drink. Cans of soup, vegetables, fruit, chili boxes of crackers, bottles of water, cranberry juice, ginger ale. 2, supplies for survival. Soap, propane, matches, candles, boots, sunscreen. I always bring a pad and pencil with me. I always leave a thank you note with my name and address. At one house, I find a shoebox full of batteries, along with extra flashlights. At another, I find a first aid kit with bandages and those ice packs that freeze when squeezed hard enough. At still another, I find a hand-cranked emergency radio. No news since the power went out. Only voice I've heard is my own talking to George or my mother's calling into my nightmares. I sit on the floor, pulling the radio out of the case, hold it in my hands and turn it around. Switch it on, but nothing happens. How does it work? Crank the handle several times. Broken hisses come from the speaker. Stop again when I stop cranking. I crank and turn the tuner at the same time. At first, just static. After a while, though, words push through crackle. Turn the dial back and forth. The music, the melody catches in my throat, makes my eyes sting. Turn again. Voices become discernible. I don't recognize names or places, have no idea where they are. Sports, scores, and laughter. Jokes about a baseball game from the night before. How can baseball season continue with so many people displaced? Are the Rockies still playing somewhere? happiness balloons in my chest. Voices marvel at the end of the game. I lean back against the wall and cry. A commercial at the Magic Car Wax comes on, and Diamond Jewelry guaranteed to win her heart. A woman reports that traffic is jammed downtown due to broken water main. Commuters should avoid the interchange at Hudson and Parkway. The voices sound so close, but they could be as far away as Maine or Florida or Alaska or Mars. I stop cranking. I tuck the radio in my backpack, write the homeowner a thank you note, and head for home. Ghost. I'm hot and sticky. I've spent most of the afternoon scavenging one or more houses, then call it quits for the day. I crawl through a large pet door. Am assessing the contents of the kitchen when my eyes land on a photo on the fridge. The face of my classmate smiles out at me. Heather, Gway, and I had known each other since kindergarten. We were never super close, but we went to birthday parties and played on soccer teams. We were friends. In the summer between 5th and 6th grade, our family was driving in the mountains. A rock slide fell down on the highway, crashing the roof of their car. She died instantly. My whole family went to the funeral. I occasionally saw her brother at school. Now I am standing in her kitchen, her dead face grinning at me from the front of an appliance. Heather's bedroom is easy to find, as though no time has passed. Like she might walk into the room at any moment. Bed made, stuffed animals arranged across the pillow, movie poster on the wall, summer reading books stacked on their desk along with a new binder, a ream of notebook paper, a package of mechanical pencils. Either Heather had been excited to start middle school or her mother had been, but the evacuation happened and she's still dead. Her room stays frozen in time despite the disappearance of everyone she loved. Do ghosts haunt places or people? If she haunts this house, does she know she's been left behind? I am a ghost haunting this town. Snoop. I ride towards Emma House neighborhood. A golf course meanders around a street called Enclave and Ari in repose. M's ground floor bedroom has French doors out to a fountain and a trampoline. The doors are unlocked. My eyes adjust to the dim light. Unmade bed, new clothes with tags still on them strewn across the floor. She left in a hurry. Bottles of nail polish and polish remover on the plush carpet next to a pile of stained cotton balls and a stack of magazines. In the bathroom, cosmetics litter the counter, a hairdryer in one of the sinks, a bottle of Emma's perfume. I remove the glass stopper. My throat cinches shut. The fragrance is so familiar, it's disorienting. Like Emma is standing next to me. I see myself in her mirror. My face is sunburned and my hair hangs over my shoulders and ankles. I haven't worn makeup or straightened my curls since the evacuation. I'm wearing Mom's t-shirt with the lotus flower and the simple, but it's stretched and faded. It smells like lake water. My shorts are filthy and I haven't shaved my legs. My silver Converse have a hole in one toe. Emma would not approve. I lie on her bed, burying my face in her pillow. I can smell her shampoo, sleepovers and slumber parties, salted toffee popcorn, pink lemonade, cold feet under down comforters. The time Emma dreamed she was standing up in a canoe and fell out of bed in the middle of the night. We got the giggles, couldn't stop laughing. Where is she now? Is she laughing somewhere where someone knew? Does she ever think of me? Too personal. I go upstairs. The house comforts me despite the lack of human presence. In Emma's mom's office, a large desk takes up 2 walls. I swivel in her plush leather chair. Pile of documents under a glass paperweight with tiny flowers inside, folded, labeled dissolution/divorce. This can't be right. Emma's family is officially the happiest of all my friends. Emma's dad gives her mom beautiful, expensive presents, whisks her away to remote Caribbean islands and exclusive Swiss chalets. They kiss in public, even at school events. The whole family counts their blessings before eating dinner tonight, or together, every night, literally counts them before anyone takes a single bite. I go back downstairs, out into the backyard, lie in the shade under the trampoline. If Emma's parents aren't happily married, I'm not sure a happy marriage is possible. My own parents fought and cried before they finally split up. Emma's never mentioned anything Has the evacuation changed anything, made them forget their troubles, or has it made things worse? I want to unread everything, go back to perfect happy family. This is too personal, intimate, especially if Emma doesn't know. I want Mom. Nothing makes any kind of sense. I ride. Pressure in my chest starts as I load thrum, but swells from the inside of emanating from belly upward, pushing against sternum into throat, taking space in my mouth. Sound burst out, up into air above the road. Shouts, wails, roars, down below muscles. Explode, pedals blur. I ride as fast as I can straight down the middle of the street, toward home. Dream. I'm at Heather's funeral, but my parents are getting married and I'm shouting at them to stop, and I'm trying to find Jennifer and Paul, and the twins are crying. And I look up to the grave and see Trevor playing on top of Heather's coffin, and I scream, but nothing comes up, and I wake up in the middle of the night, jaw clenched, fists locked, shaking violently. Paradox. Maybe God sends us nightmares so our living reality doesn't seem so bad when we wake up. Until we wake up and remember we are living in a nightmare we can't escape except by